When a new Assassin's Creed game is announced, the first thing people want to know is when and where the game is set. From the ancient wonders of Egypt to the gritty streets of London, this series has explored some of the world's most interesting locations. But if we were to take all of the mainline games and judge them purely on their settings and environments, which ones would make the top 5, and of those 5, which would claim the top spot? Let's find out. Starting us off at number 5 is Assassin's Creed Syndicate. This game takes us on a tour of London during the Industrial Revolution. It's a grimy and gritty experience that provides a great snapshot of the time, with factories billowing smoke, bustling streets filled with horse-drawn carriages, and workers of all ages going about their day, all accompanied by the sounds of the time echoing throughout the city. Areas like Westminster and the Strand are elegant and refined, with grand stone buildings, meticulously maintained streets, and iconic landmarks like Big Ben and Buckingham Palace. These districts showcase the power and wealth of the British Empire with timeless architecture that feels worlds away from the smoke and grime of the industrial districts where factories dominate the skyline. As someone who grew up in and around London, I really enjoyed exploring this setting. Though set many years before my time, it does a great job of capturing the essence of the city. It was great strolling through marketplaces, popping into the local pub, and walking through the parks and streets, overhearing random conversations. It really helped to convey a unique sense of character and personality. One notable downside for me was the size of the streets. Unlike previous games in the series, London gave the player a much wider set of streets to explore, which made navigating from rooftop to rooftop not as free-flowing as it had been in the past. However, the addition of a grappling hook opened the city up in some fun and interesting ways. Which was important because, as with all Assassin's Creed games, the best views are reserved for the city's rooftops and the many viewpoints that serve as synchronization spots. At number 4, we have Assassin's Creed Unity. Set in Paris during the French Revolution, this game throws us into a world teeming with civil unrest. The tension in the city is palpable, and the effects and fallout are present at every turn. We see makeshift barricades, bodies of the wounded on the streets, and large crowds rioting throughout the city. The amount of NPCs on screen is astounding, even by 2025 standards, and serves to create an atmosphere unlike any other we've seen in the franchise. The architecture in the city is stunning, accurately recreating the look and feel of the time, and the interiors are just as well put together. The views from the rooftops are some of my personal favourites, and I still believe this is one of the best looking worlds in the Assassin's Creed franchise. I think what I love about this setting is the layers to the city. Below the city we have the dark, damp and eerie looking catacombs. At street level we are immersed in the chaos of the revolution. And up above it all there's an opportunity to escape. To sit and take in the stunning views with only the sounds of the crowds to hint at the unrest below. In the wealthier areas of the city we see well-maintained gardens and stunning statues and monuments outside beautifully designed buildings. In the working class and impoverished districts we get a completely different vibe that feels much more cramped and gritty, with narrow pathways winding through tightly packed homes. This stark contrast between districts serves to highlight the inequality of the time and adds to the pressures that fueled the revolution. If you haven't played this one yet or avoided it because of the bad press it got at launch, you definitely should be checking this one out. Taking the third place, we've got Assassin's Creed Origins. Set in ancient Egypt, the first thing that struck me was the sheer scale of the world. There is so much to see and do in this game, with a great deal of variety to each area. Large cities like Alexandria showcase beautifully crafted buildings and tiled roofs that are arranged to create a neat uniform appearance that complements the white marble and stone walls below. These buildings, coupled with the statues that populate the streets of the city, exude sophistication and power, and speak to the Greek and Roman architectural influence. In contrast, head to areas like Crocodiliopolis and you'll be fully immersed in Egyptian mythology. In this specific area, you'll find temples and structures dedicated to the worship of Sobek, the crocodile-headed god of fertility and the Nile. Here, hieroglyphics adorn the walls and complement the towering statues to enhance that spiritual atmosphere and a great sense of awe. The mythological aspect is leaned on heavily in this game and is woven into the very fabric of its setting. This becomes even more apparent as you venture to iconic landmarks like the Great Pyramids of Giza and the Sphinx. These structures are not just breathtaking above ground, but hold secrets below, with intricate tombs and hidden chambers waiting to be explored. Adding another layer to the world map are the many Roman military camps and fortresses scattered across the landscape, and the much smaller, more rural environments where farmers tend to their crops and sell their wares at local markets. Now, one aspect of the map that could have been a negative was the large open deserts. These areas could have been barren and empty, but they find a way to make the most of the setting, with ruins scattered throughout, random encounters with NPCs and enemies, and during sweltering heat, the opportunity to experience a mirage, or perhaps a miracle. At number 2, it's Assassin's Creed Black Flag. As mentioned at the start of the video, the announcement of the setting for an upcoming Assassin's Creed game can make or break the initial hype for the game, and some entries in the series really had to sell me on the setting before I could get invested in its world. But Black Flag hooked me instantly. I couldn't wait to jump in and explore the Caribbean setting. And once I got my chance to play the game, within 10 to 15 minutes I was fully into the experience. It makes a great first impression and builds upon it with a diverse array of locations, each with their own unique architectural style and atmosphere, creating a dynamic and immersive world that's a whole lot of fun to explore. For example, the first major location you visit is Havana, which is vibrant and full of character. When I first arrived at the location, I was blown away. The blend of Spanish colonial architecture with those Caribbean influences creates an atmosphere that's both beautiful and bursting with life. The flat roofs and intricate network of balconies, overhangs and signage created a maze that offers plenty of opportunities for parkour and exploration. The contrast between the busy streets below and the openness of the rooftops added a sense of verticality and excitement to exploring the city. But it's not just Havana. The sense of verticality and excitement can be found throughout the towns and cities across the map, all bringing their own unique style and secrets to discover. Beyond the inhabited cities, towns and villages, you'll find ancient Mayan temples and ruins in amongst a rich and detailed jungle that provides even more opportunities for free-flowing exploration and jaw-dropping visuals. It has long been rumoured that Black Flag might be getting a remake or remaster, and while I would welcome that with open arms, there's a charm to the original visuals that I wouldn't want to lose. The gritty, slightly low poly look and feel of those older games has always appealed to me, and it feels like Black Flag pushed the engine as far as it could to get the most out of its environments. And finally, at number 1, we've got Assassin's Creed Odyssey. While much can be said about the game's length and its move away from traditional Assassin's Creed gameplay, there is no denying that the open world is a masterpiece. Ancient Greece is brought to life in stunning detail, offering an unparalleled variety of landscapes that feel alive and distinct from one another. In cities, we find sprawling hubs of politics and culture, filled with grand marble structures, towering statues of gods, and bustling marketplaces teeming with philosophers, artists, and merchants. In contrast, you'll find many small towns and villages across the map where the architecture leans more toward the humble and functional. They may be amongst rolling hills and vibrant vineyards, or down by the water, providing stunning, picturesque visuals and a completely different vibe to the largest cities. Add to this the many forts and camps to overtake and explore on top of the seemingly endless amounts of underground layers and caves, and you've got a world that rewards exploration with a staggering amount of secrets to discover, and that's just on land. Take to the sea, and there's even more to explore with majestic underwater ruins and shipwrecks to navigate. If that wasn't enough, the game also throws a layer of mythology. Explore long enough and you may stumble across eerie, otherworldly places where statues of petrified people stand frozen in time, hinting at the terrifying presence of Medusa. For me, exploration and discovery is what makes the game so memorable, and what I have covered here is just a fraction of what the game offers. I really feel like Ubisoft nailed the setting and created a world that amazes at every turn. The sense of scale when perched at a synchronization spot is incredible, and down on the ground amongst it all, it's just as amazing. For me, Ancient Greece is without a doubt the best open world map in the Assassin's Creed franchise. So there you have it, my top 5 open worlds in the Assassin's Creed franchise. Did your favourite make my list? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe for more gaming content.